How important is self-belief? Does gender play a part in leadership? The importance of the human connection in business, and the importance of self-transformation. And how do you humanize disruption and understanding more about the blockchain industry? Join us in our Golden Jubilee 50th episode part 2, starting at 11 p.m. Singapore time, with all the other corresponding time zones listed below.
Hello and welcome to our 50th episode, part 2. Please welcome Joy, my co-host and founder, and we thank you once again for joining us once again. It's an absolute pleasure. Joy.
Absolute pleasure. Welcome to the 50th and the Golden Jubilee of Create the Edge. It's, as Yusuf said, an absolute pleasure to be with you all today, and we've got an awesome lineup of another 20 brilliant brains and lovely hearts. But here's a surprise. Stay tuned right to the end, because Yusuf and I are going to surprise you right after our 20th guest. We have a surprise appearance. Let's roll.
Fantastic. Firstly, I'd like to bring on board Gurdeep Man, all the way from India. Thank you so much, Gurdeep. Mondays with Man. Everyone would know him. You know, he lives, breathes, and bleeds sales. Secondly, I'd like to introduce to the stream. Oh, there you go, Davina. Davina, you've got Billu with you today, so thank you so much, Billu. You're making a special appearance, and congratulations for being nominated the top 25 immigrants in Canada. And what a beautiful day to actually have you on board. Considering today to be Canada Day, so happy Canada Day to you and to all our viewers in Canada. Thirdly, I'm going to be introducing none other than Caroline Fernandez, Executive Coach and Inclusion Champion. Thank you so much, Caroline, for being here. We really, really appreciate you being with us here today. And last but not the least, drum roll, we've got none other than brother man Corey Warfield, all the way
Hi, Corey.
from Chicago.
Hello,
Thank you so much.
hello, everyone.
Such a pleasure having you here, brother.
The pleasure is mine.
It's such a pleasure.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, for joining in, everyone. Really, really appreciate all your support and all your feedback that we received in our episode part 1 earlier during the day, which was aired 12 hours ago. And it's such a pleasure to have Corey, Caroline, Davina, and Gurdeep with us as our first group of guests on our part 2 of our Golden Jubilee episode here at Create the Edge. So without further ado, thank you so much for being here. And, all of y'all symbolize belief in yourselves, because y'all have done things throughout your lives where you've challenged the norm. And that is so, so powerful. And, once again, we'd love you to speak about how important self-belief is. I'm actually going to start with Corey, brother. Tell us a little bit about what amazing things you're doing at Shedwell, how you've left a corporate career, and how important self-belief is to each and everyone who's actually watching this live feed at this present moment.
Sure. I mean, I've got a team, and we've got a growing user base, and we've got a growing valuation with my company Shedwell that I created. But beyond that, I'm involved in about 20 startups right now, and I love to help people, and I love to kind of, just engage with people worldwide on platforms like LinkedIn. But the reason I was able to do all that, and why I'm still able to do all that, is because I believed that I could. And a lot of people believed that I could not. And thank God I chose to listen to myself, not any of them. And, my team now are people. Oh, you cannot hear me?
No. We can hear you. Don't worry. Corey.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was being sexy brilliant for Davina, but
okay. Davina's gonna hear it on the replay. Don't you worry. So we'll keep her guessing as to what you're saying, and we're gonna hold a mock quiz for her at the end.
Perfect.
Good one.
And any more for myself, it's, just yesterday I was with Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Souls, and listened to him talking about self-belief. And, I'm connected to other people like Bob Proctor now and Les Brown, and I go to watch them speak, and I have conversations with these people or video chats, and, just to hear people that have really put together these these global changing initiatives or these hundreds of millions or billion-dollar companies, the commonality is simply that they all believe that they could do it. And, I'm humbled to be in some of those circles now. And I'll tell you, everyone there believed that we could do it. And we didn't believe anyone that disbelieved that. So I think that's what's so important, right? Is choosing what you do believe and what you don't believe, and not letting other beliefs kind of create the barrier rather than the edge. I mean, we're here to create the edge, right? But I think so many people have these really limiting self-beliefs. And if you believe you can't do something, then you're guaranteed to not be able to do that. And, it was one of these things that we did with Jack yesterday at the webinar, or at the seminar, actually. He had us all point as far behind ourselves as we could without moving our feet. And we all pointed as far as we could, and he asked us to draw a laser line with our eyes out past the horizon, and to take note not only of how far we were pointing, but kind of what was around that laser line. And then we came back, and he simply had us do a little mental exercise where we believed we could go farther, and had us do it again. And every single person in the room, there were hundreds of us, we could all point several inches further. And it's because we believed that we could. And when you see it manifest and materialize physically like that, it is, it's you can't argue with results, right? And he said yesterday, and Rob Howes often says, and success leaves clues. It's like when you look at what people that are doing how you want to be doing are doing it, the one thing that they're doing in common, other than trying to help other people, is that they're believing in themselves. And so, I think that's the best way I can articulate it, is the more I believe in myself, and the more I believe in myself, and the more I believe in myself. And for me, part of myself doesn't include divinity and God, but I think everyone has their own journey as far as that goes. But the more that I just believe and believe in what I choose to believe, and believe that what I believe is unwaveringly true, doors open and miracles happen. And so that's kind of my long diatribe.
Man, I couldn't agree more. And you personify how important it is to actually keep that belief in yourself. And you're such a brilliant advocate. And kudos to you, brother. Kudos to you. I mean, what you're doing on the platform, the way you're actually showing people and literally taking them by the hand and leading them, it is simply fantastic, and so encouraging. So thank you so much. We're having a little bit of technical issues with Caroline at the moment, but we'll be adding her back to the feed as soon as she actually gets back in. That's not an issue. So I'm actually going to get Gurdeep to actually share a little bit about how important he thinks self-belief is. Over to you.
On a Monday with Man.
Oh yes. So I didn't upload any video today because I knew I was going to come to your show. So I think this is exactly what I wanted. Now, Corey, I complete every single thing what you mentioned, right? And I've been following you for more than a year now. And I love every single post what you do. Believe me, and the support what you give every single. Now, if you ask me about self-belief, did I actually think that I'm going to be here today? No, I didn't actually think that. Nobody believed that I would be here wherever I am today. Now, when I started my career, I think when I started uploading videos on LinkedIn, I think a year and a half back, people started laughing. People started saying, what are you up to? What are you doing? I don't think so anybody's going to watch you. You know what? Let them keep their opinion with them. I don't care because they're not the ones feeding me. They're not the ones, everything, whatever I'm doing at the moment, right? So I believed in myself, whatever knowledge I can share. I'm not going to say I'm a whatever you call it as. I'm just whatever experience I have. I believe in myself, and that's what I'm going to continue doing.
So true.
I'm not going to take a lot of time. So because I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm good in selling. I know I'm good in talking. So these are my strengths. So big than me. I'm not saying I'm the only person who can actually sell. I think Yusuf is a better seller than me. Who knows? I think he is.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. But I really appreciate you are see the main thing about sales, Gurdeep, as you were talking the other day, right? It's all about building that connection, right? And that is so important. It's all about building that connection, Corey. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, brother. Sales is just basically your ability to be able to connect meaningfully and relate to a person's needs and requirements. And just make sure that you're trying to give them as much of a win-win situation as possible. So Gurdeep, I mean, love it, brother. And see that is what comes through. Your passion comes through. Sorry, Gurdeep, go on.
So the last thing, I don't know, so everybody's watching us, so I'm not going to take more than 30 seconds more. And I'm going to finish because I can give you a lot of gyan, but bottom line, what's going through, it's only you know it. Nobody else can actually tell you to do what exactly you need to do.
So true.
So guys,
So true.
apart from your parents, let it be your mom, your dad, your wife, right? Listen to them. Your friends, there would be many little friends, might be one or two, who's actually going to advise you the right thing. Others would be either jealous or either they cannot do what exactly you are up to. You feel you can do it, just do it. And I'm
Just
sure
do it.
you will. Just do it, man. That's it. Now,
Perfect.
it's nothing is going to happen. You're not going to pay anything. But it's okay. Get up and do it again. I have failed so many times,
True.
but I'm not going
Very
to
true.
give up.
Very true.
Mondays with man, I will do it no matter what. So there were instances, to be honest, my previous employer said, Gurdeep, I think you need to stop uploading videos. I said, why? Why? Am I doing something wrong? I don't think so. So you know what? I resigned my previous company, and I don't care, man, because people who do not respect my personal brand and people who do not believe that I can motivate others, I don't give a damn. It's okay. So guys,
Perfect.
your parents
Kudos.
believe in yourself. That's the bottom line. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Beautifully
Well
put.
said.
Beautifully put.
Well
And I'm actually going to jump over to Davina. I was actually going to jump over to Caroline because she's having quite a bit of connection issues. But I'm going to jump over to Davina. So Davina, congratulations once again for being chosen the top 25 Canadian immigrants, and happy Canada Day to you and all other people from Canada who are watching this live stream.
Yep.
So Davina, you embody self-belief. I mean, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Tell us a little bit about, what got you to that mental strength that you presently have.
So, hi everybody, and first of all, I want to congratulate Joy and Saib for doing this. I didn't even know you could do this. So kudos to all of you for managing to pull this off. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, Sexy Brilliant comes because of my years of struggling in loneliness, being depressed. I had at one point in my life, I was a full-time dog walker and I made $10 a day. I had no food in the fridge. And I said, I have a choice. I can go back to the corporate world, or I can keep looking for what my life purpose, which is Sexy Brilliant. So at that moment, I remember standing in front of the mirror and I said, you know what? I am sexy. I am brilliant. My value is not based on having $10 in my pocket. And that, just by saying that, to say that, yes, you know what, of course we measure success with money, but maybe it's time to look beyond that. Maybe it's time to look at inner wealth. So for example, I just won the top 25 Canadian Immigrant Award. And I'm like, it's okay. It's not who I am. It's part of what I'm doing. But my greater purpose is Sexy Brilliant. And I encourage everybody listening in to tune into that inner knowledge and then find out who you are. Practice radical self-acceptance, because many times you will not like that part of yourself.
Love it.
That part
Love
that
it.
says I'm sexy and I'm brilliant or something else. So radical self-acceptance is key to self-belief.
So love it. Radical self-acceptance. You couldn't have said it better, actually. I mean, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your views with us. And Gurdeep, thank you so much, brother. I'm going to be taking you off the feed. Really, really appreciate your support, brother. You're still at work. So thank you so much, Gurdeep, for being here. Really, really appreciate your support. Gurdeep, thank you once again.
Thank you, Gurdeep.
I'm gonna add Brian Farkash, who's just actually joined us all the way from sunny Florida.
How are you?
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in, Brian. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm just gonna wait for maybe a minute for Caroline. I'm assuming she's having a couple of difficulties. So and there you go. So Davina has brought on her entire menagerie out there.
Yeah, she has. We
have a few more at home.
There you go. The dogs of LinkedIn are here. Where are yours? Sorry, where are your two lovely, beautiful, little ones of yours?
Yeah, can we get a screenshot?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's Corey's. There's Corey's.
There you go.
Those are the two. There you go.
Love it.
Screenshot so that we can
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Thank you so much, Corey.
That was
Yeah, they're
brilliant.
never
That
too
was really
far.
brilliant. But thank you so much, Corey. Really, really appreciate you joining in, brother. Thank you. I mean,
Thank you so much.
were the reason. You were one of the reasons, guys. Everyone out here on the live feed, to whoever's watching, Corey was one of the main reasons I actually have LinkedIn Live today. Because if he did not actually force me to actually do videos, I would have never have done it. So thank you, Corey. I still remember our conversations over WhatsApp, and I'm deeply grateful to you, brother. So thank you so much. I really, really, owe you, a huge debt for getting me to believe in myself. So thank you. Really appreciate it, Corey.
You're welcome, and it's a pleasure. And no need to thank me, but I just want to say, everybody on the call right now, I have such relationships with and so much love for. And I remember meeting Davina almost a year ago, and we had a call, and all she could really tell me was that she was sexy, brilliant. That was her purpose in her life calling, and it took me about 10 minutes to really get it. And then I said, you know what, you absolutely are. And hopefully, I mean, now I hope to be her biggest fan, but I love the show, and I love everything you guys are all doing. And Brian, great to see you too. So a debt of
Thank you so much,
gratitude back,
Corey.
and thank you. Yeah, it's an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Corey. Really, really
Thank you
appreciate
so much,
your time,
Corey.
brother. Thank you so
Really
much. Really appreciate it. And thank you so much, Davina, for joining in. Really, really appreciate it. You have a lovely day. Enjoy Canada Day today, and happy Canada Day to each and every Canadian who's actually watching the feed right now as we speak. So thank you so much, Davina.
Congratulations.
Bye.
Thanks,
Take
Davina. Bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm going to be adding Juliet. Hi, Juliet.
Oh,
Thank you
there's
so
Juliet.
much for coming in.
Hi.
So appreciate you joining us here today. And I'm going to be adding Sandeep Mukhi all the way from India. Thank you so much. So
Thank you,
appreciate
Sandeep.
the time you've taken.
Hi, Joy. Hi, Juliet. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Really, 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 really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So so really, really appreciate all the support that you all have been giving me, and Joy regarding Create the Edge. It's been absolutely stupendous, and we are so grateful. Yes, Joy.
Shout out to Juliet. Juliet is doing the live now, but she's actually done the live on the feed last night at her end. She sat through the entire 2 hours. Thank you so much. We are so utterly grateful, Juliet. You filled up the comments all the way through. Really, really awesome. People thought that Steve was saying that, aren't you on the show right now? And you replied, and I replied that no, we're coming back tomorrow morning. So thank you so much for that.
That is very, very true. So, just a really, really little bit of a request to Corey and Davina, who are actually still backstage, in the green room. You don't need to be backstage, Corey. Thank you so much, brother. I really, really appreciate it. So, I really, really appreciate it, Corey. Thank you so much. So thank you once again for being here with us. And we are actually going to be talking about a very, very important topic. Now, does gender play a part in leadership? Now that is something which is what a lot of people actually talk about leadership. As to, a lot of people actually think that perhaps people react differently to whether you're a man or a woman, holding the fort, so to speak. So really, really appreciate your sharing and your inputs regarding that. And I'm going to actually ask Sandeep to go first.
Yeah, because this will be a East and a West, because you got Brian and Juliet. So we'll get a US perspective, male, female, and we'll get Sandeep from the Asian side. So Sandeep, take it away.
So does gender play a part in leadership? My clear answer is no, it does not. Unfortunately, what happens is, at least in India, we've grown up in a very patriarchal society, right? And a man looking up to a woman as a boss is a problem for generally in India. I believe that women are much more better leaders than men. That's a Juliet, they are. They carry. Brian, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. So
that's the truth. Agreed.
Women are the architects of society, brother.
Absolutely.
I've said that, all the time. I mean, if not for a woman, none of us men would be here. So
that's right. That's true. I agree.
I'm sorry. So I was saying that why they are better is that they naturally they carry a lot of empathy. Okay, so there is this empathy quotient that they bring in. There is no EQ training that they have to go through, is what my experience is. Unfortunately, for us, the whole male ego doesn't allow us to accept women as bosses. But in my experience, women are a natural progression towards leadership. I was doing some studies, some research, and I realized that only 7% of women in India are at a leadership or a senior executive leadership role, and that's a very shocking statistic when I went through this data. Then I said maybe this problem is in India or Asia, and I looked up the global statistics. And the global statistics said out of Fortune 500 companies, only 4.8% women are at CEO levels. So it's probably just not in India. It's probably a global phenomenon. Yeah, it is.
That's what is the glass ceiling. That's what they say is the glass ceiling, for a woman to break in.
True. There's only one Asian country who's there in the top 10 women senior leadership position. That is Philippines. So there is no one else. Can you guess which is the topmost country who hires women at the top level? It was a shocking statistic for me as well. Just a guess.
Germany?
Jamaica. 59%. So I mean, there's no US, there's no Europe, it's Jamaica. So surprising. So unfortunately, it's a global phenomenon. And it's created by us males. We've created the whole fiefdom about males being the senior guys, and we carry the strong genes. That's not true in my experience.
Good point. Good point. Let's carry it over to the ladies' side, and let's hear Juliet give an explanation on the gender side from a lady's perspective.
Well, I did my homework too, so I'm not for knowledge. These are facts and figures.
Oh my goodness! There you go.
Yes, I'm data driven. I'm a data junkie. So, can you all hear me now?
Yes,
okay, because I've had messages flooding in that I was mute, and everyone who knows me knows I am not quiet.
Absolutely. Take the floor, Juliet.
Okay.
It's all yours.
So nearly 40% of the workforce globally is female. Yet 59 of the Fortune 500 are CEOs are women. And the women, I just met with a Fortune 50 CEO, actually Fortune 10, but CEO 2 months ago. And I'm not kidding. She looked like a woman. She acted like a man. Now, granted, her company is very engineering driven and technical, but that's what I find. So to your point about glass ceiling, there is a glass ceiling. And women feel that in order to fit into the workplace, they have to think like a man. So there's a saying, think manager, think male. And that is so disheartening to me. I mean, it's, there's in the US alone, there are, I just want to read this because this is amazing. There are more men named John, just named John in the whole US than there are female leaders.
Brian, thank God you're named Brian.
I don't know any female leaders named Brian. And Eastern Europe has the largest percentage at 36% of women leaders, but that's so small. That is such a small statistic. So if we represent nearly 50% of the workforce, why aren't we there? And I know I used to work years ago for the second largest feminine hygiene company in the world. Now, fortunately, none of you will need that product. In fact, you couldn't use it if you wanted to. And literally 100% of the senior leaders were males. The only women entered in the mid-level. And it was astounding to me because granted, men are very smart. They could do research. I get that. I understand that. I believe that. However, they cannot experience the product. So for me to look up to a man who could never use this product just really was a disconnect for me. So that's the issue, is that we need to eliminate this glass ceiling because to your point earlier, Yusuf and Joy and Sajid, everyone was talking about the fact that when women are leaders, we change entire societies. So we are naturally empathetic, but we also are the natural caregivers in the home. And we believe in giving back. I'm not saying men don't. Of course, men do as well, but that is who we are naturally. So when you have a female leader, a portion of every penny she earns will go back to changing society, and every man will benefit from that as well. So I cannot wait for the day. I'm sorry, my last point. I cannot wait for, and then I promise I'll stop. I cannot wait for the day that we are no longer men and women leaders, that we are just leaders.
I was just going. Thank you, Juliet. You just led in very nicely for me to ask Brian, because I think there's this whole perception created over the last 50 years or 60 years. Basically, it's an industrial age, manufacturing age management technique layered on societal culture. Sandeep brought in something which is India specific, but having been out of India, it's a very Asia specific actually. Asia runs on a very patriarchal mode. So Sandeep, you remember when we did the leadership series, we spoke about the flow of leadership from east to west, and we are actually seeing certain values, if I may use that word, going in. So for a moment, and Brian, I'd like to bring you in here because Yusuf and I love your tagline. You've seen
together is better.
But together is better. And man and woman, we've been all made. Let's assume from that fundamental that we've been made for respective purposes, but we're actually a team. A team together is better, works better than somebody is better than the other, as in an infighting. So your perspective on gender impact in leadership from a team sort of a viewpoint. Just leave aside the psyche of US and everything else, just from an HR perspective. If you get my question, I'm just asking for the right skills and the right leader in a team. Should it be, how do you select it irrespective of gender?
Yeah, I mean, leadership lies in all of us. Whether you're a woman or a man,
Beautifully said.
We're all leaders. Each and every one of us. We all have it in us. It's just a matter of pulling it out and having someone else believe in you. So if you believe in yourself and you get that out of your core, have others around you see what you're made of, see what you want to do, bring your passion to the table, they'll believe in you, and together we'll all be leaders together. Now, it's all about being inclusive. That's the beauty of leadership. We all have it within us. It's all about being inclusive. We all have a voice. We all need to use our voice. And we're all, we should be fortunate that we have a voice, because many people, unfortunately, do not have a voice due to, specific reasons. But around leadership, whether you're a man or a woman, that diversity is key, because you can bring in a wealth of knowledge, you can increase productivity, you can have higher employee retention, higher employee engagement. You all can learn from one another in so many ways. And at the end of the day, it's that culture that you want to build, and it's that culture that you want to instill in the company or in the organization to promote a welcoming culture. And bring in my tagline, together is better, because we all have so much that we can add value from all different worlds, all different parts of life. No matter who you are, where you are, we all have it in us.
Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you so much.
Couldn't agree more. So, and I'm sorry once again. I think Caroline is still trying to log in, but she's having a lot of issues on her phone. So I guess with the connection. So we missed your input, Caroline. But thank you so much for all your support that you've given us all this while. We really appreciate it. So thank you once again for everything. So really appreciate it, Caroline, for all your support that you've given us, you and Corey, and for all the other previous speakers as well. So really appreciate it. So yes, Joy, you were mentioning something.
No, I was saying Brian just brought it in, summed it up rather nicely, putting it in perspective. And thank you so much, Sandeep, Brian, Juliet. Juliet, really appreciate your participation now and last night. And thank you for the point that you made. It's a very interesting piece of data, which I'll come back to later, because on a separate chat.
Can I
gentlemen,
one quick thing?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Go ahead, shoot.
I found this insane quote. So there was this huge study done by a major research firm, a global study. And what came back is women are thought, this is insane, in the workplace is, and I quote, take care, whereas men are referred to as take charge. And that's astounding. To me, that sums up the gender issue. We need to get from taking care to actually, and that's to your point, Sandeep, about empathy, and emotional intelligence, merging caring and charging, because it's all one, which is better.
So important.
If I may, when I hear that quote, I think somebody has missed the point, because when you say take care, and Brian just touched upon this, when you say take care, care brings out the vulnerability, and care brings out humility, and care brings out reaching out. Whereas take charge becomes a little, if I may use the word, dictatorial, or the old command and control, so a little standoffish. I'm literally playing English perception of the word,
Yep.
So again, it depends. Culture. Brian said this. It's you take charge. You take care, and you take charge means you're coming from a. So what should I say? An empathetic point of view. That's how I read that quotation. So yeah, I mean, thank you, Juliet. That was fantastic. Really appreciate it, Brian, Juliet, Sandeep. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm going to add Andrada to the stream right now. Hi, Andrada. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. So really appreciate it. So thank you, Sandeep. Really appreciate your time, brother. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from India. Thank you. I'm going to be removing you from the feed at this moment, and thank you so much. We'll have a chat later. Thank you, Sandeep.
Sure. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thanks. Bye.
So I'm gonna at this moment add John Gora.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you so much,
Hi, John.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. Really appreciate it. And at this present moment, Brian, brother, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all your support that you've given each and every one on this platform. Absolutely love your tagline, "Together is better."
Thank you very much.
That summarizes. Honestly speaking, "Together is better" summarizes LinkedIn, in my opinion.
Yep.
And that's it. Just makes it a beautiful, holistic experience. So thank you so much, Brian. We will definitely be catching up soon. And thank you once again. Take care, brother.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Great work. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm going to be adding Faith Nwobia all the way
lovely.
from Lagos, Nigeria.
Hi, Faith.
Hear us.
Can you hear us, Faith? Faith's got audio problems. Faith, we can't hear you.
We've got a bit of buffering issues.
Right. Okay,
we can't hear you, Faith, just so you know. But never mind. I'm gonna get Julia to stay with us for a little while and give us a little bit of her inputs as well. But thank you so much, Andrada. Thank you so much, John. And thank you so much, Faith, for joining us. It is so important. And this is what it beautifully summarizes and leads us into the discussion that we're going to be having regarding how important the human connection is in business, right? And I'm going to ask John to actually go first, because, brother, you've worked in completely multiple industries, and you've taken on board a complete sea change and changed everything from where you were in the security field. Now you've gone in as a sports commentator and stuff. So, brother, you are the best person to tell us, to a certain extent, how important the human connection is when you switch industries and you're still in corporate.
Wow. I really, first of all, want to take this opportunity to thank all of you, and especially the masters of Create the Edge, Saheb and Joy. This is a pleasure. It's a pleasure to do such kind of an organization, that it's not just a little thing. Across the world, you guys are doing great, and very many people needs what is being done today by you, because you never know which heart you touch with the little thing that you do across the world for free.
True.
So this is my second time to be on the Create the Age, and it's a pleasure to be invited twice. That's always a miracle.
No, brother,
it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure.
Yeah, and as well as meeting people like Anranda, Juliet, Faith, and those who have talked since morning, it's a pleasure. So going back to human connection into business, there's one thing I want to handle, and especially within the business itself and outside the business. That is, let's talk about, a business is always organized to serve a purpose. So within the organization, there is always the connection within the business itself, and there is the connection when the business is serving its purpose. So what I want to tackle within a few minutes is just the trust and loyalty within that business that creates or needs the connection of human being, or just the human part of it. We've always been talking much of human resource, and if somebody doesn't define to you that human resource has a human in it, you will just be talking about HR. But the most important resource within a business is human. So it's very good, and the best thing to do within to multiply the trust and loyalty is to know how to connect one person to the other within that business. How is the chain of conversation? How is the chain of processing of a material that maybe the deliverable you want to give to your clients or customers? So the way a CEO will stop at the gate and greet a security guard or a cleaner shows the connection that is within that business. People need comfort. People need to feel part of the business. People need to find home at work. But if you cannot find that home, if you cannot connect that, if you cannot bring that human into the business itself, then somebody feels lonely. They feel that they are not at home. They are not at the right place. And the business becomes something else. And then even the deliverable, the service that you want to give out, doesn't come in the right way. The same happens to when you want to put the deliverable that you have made with the good connection within the business, you want now to take it out.
Yes.
We have multiple of brands, right, that need to serve the same purpose. For the people to understand and take your brand as opposed to others, you need to create loyalty, and that happens with a great human connection. That happens when the human connection in business is put at par. You try to make things possible. As in, let's take, for example, a sliding door. I want to use a door as an example. If you go into a hotel and you get a sliding door and it opens for you, you'll go through. You will never say thank you, right? But if somebody opens the door for you, you'll turn back and say thank you. And that connection is another image that will make you go back there, because you need to see that face that was smiling at the door as opposed to a door that will just slide. And that is just part of human connection, because we want to be part of something. We don't just want to buy a
social
product.
Creatures.
We don't just want to go to like an ATM machine and take cash. You want to go to the bank, to the desk, and talk to someone, right? You get your cash. You even trust it. When you get it from someone at the desk, when you're going to an ATM to withdraw, what I would say about human connection in business. You just have to create the loyalty and trust. That's all. And the business will be home, whether it is within or without the business itself.
Very true. And so agree with you. So, I couldn't agree more. So, thank you so much for your share there, John. Really appreciate it. Would love to hear from. I'm getting a couple of. So, Faith, can you hear me? Faith, can you hear us at this moment, Faith?
I think let's take Andrada's perspective on this, because I'm sure she has a great point of view.
Absolutely, Andrada. Sorry, we're having a couple of issues with John and Faith's video and connection at the moment. So, Andrada, would love your perspective on it, please.
First of all, I would like to say hi, and that I'm really nervous guys. It's
So are we.
extremely.
If it helps you, Anuradha, so are we. We're very nervous too. Don't worry.
Yeah, but you're already at the second experience with this, so yeah,
It's
it
just the
doesn't count.
second.
It doesn't count. That's a good way of putting it. That's a good
That's
way
a
of
good
putting
way
it.
of putting it. Okay, I
Thank you.
tried.
Yeah. Well, my take on the human connection in business. I would like to talk about the human connection from an employee's perspective rather than from a CEO's perspective.
Mhm.
You know that many times we are not being allowed to say what we have on our minds, and we are not being considered for what we can do best. So most of the times, employees are being shut up, so to speak, right?
Yep.
And where I'm trying to get to with this is the fact that if CEOs or managers or micromanagers, leaders, would consider more allowing their employees to speak, their
Yeah.
business will definitely improve in the process, because there's a lot of people who have brilliant ideas,
Mhm.
but they're like diamonds buried in the ground, you know, just because they're not allowed to speak, just because they're afraid to go out there and tell their managers what they have in their mind, just because they know no one is going to listen.
Yeah.
So, and also among colleagues, you know, it's very important to be open, because we can help each other instead of competing with each other. This is a very sensitive topic and it's very dear
It
to
is.
me, because going out there and working together instead of going against each other will help people go to work with joy, right? With happiness.
Beautifully put.
With-
Beautifully put.
But I think Anuradha, sorry to jump in here. I want to bring Juliet in here because we were
Yeah.
talking about gender in leadership just before human connection. And I think the point you made, again, I'm going to bring 2 points in here. One is John mentioned, one is the environment that a leader would create, because there's a saying in our side, which we say, monkey see, monkey do. So as the leader behaves, the culture sets down for employees to behave. So, and Anuradha, what you're saying is, employees are not given an opportunity to talk or to fit into the right job skill that is required. And it happens because we've got this sort of a perceived idea that this is how business operates, this is the process.
Yeah.
And the leader becomes so much more important. And to the point that John made, which is, sorry, but I'm going to use this as one life. I was trying to find it out as one nation, John, but it's actually one life. If you look at it, we as an individual are individuals. So on one hand, we learn to be individualistic in terms of a personal brand. We stand out, we differentiate. And as human beings, 7.6 billion of us are different. You know, fingerprint and irises, we're different. We are one type, we are at home. And then we go off to work, and suddenly that person at home is, you know, behind another mask, and the mask comes out. And Anuradha, coming to that, so it's a mask interacting with another mask, i.e. two colleagues.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, infighting and whatever, all of that comes in, because that's where the individual insecurities and everything tend to surface within an environment that is not, as John mentioned, conducive or not protective or not safe to be, to sort of let you blossom, let you grow, you know.
Correct.
I just want to
Absolutely.
connect that. And
Absolutely.
Faith's here, so Faith would have a point on that. Faith, can you hear us?
Juliet, you know,
Yeah.
just wanted to very, very briefly sort of wrap up with yourself, and this is what, you know, this is what you do, you know, with your 3 E's.
Yeah, this is what she
Especially,
does.
right?
Yeah.
So just
Sure.
so I mean, thank you so much, Juliet. I mean, you know what you do, especially with being able to, you know, make that connection more meaningful. It's so powerful, Juliet. So and we really appreciate it. We really appreciate you joining us here, Juliet.
Thank you so much.
Any last comments from yourself, Juliet?
I would just say it's really important to just go through life. Business is just part of life. I used to segregate it. I used to have, there's work and there's life. And now every year I realize, no, I'm me. I'm very heartfelt. I used to hide that to some extent in business. I was still me, but not completely me. I would hold that back because as a woman, I did not want to be seen as weaker. I wanted to be seen as strong and smart. And I didn't want to be judged for my mushiness, if you will. I now realize that who I am at work is who I am in reality. Because if you meet me on the street, I don't want to have to remember what that other persona is like. So I would say, bring yourself to work. Just bring yourself to work.
Beautiful.
And if you don't fit in, you don't fit in. Find out where you fit in.
Perfect.
Just
be yourself. That's the main thing.
Yeah, be yourself, because when you bring yourself to work is where you make that connection. You make that human connection. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Juliet.
Thank you, Juliet. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm gonna bring in Rahila. Rahila, all the way from Johannesburg. Thank you so much, Rahila, for being able to join us. We are having a couple of network issues with yourself as well, and thank you so much, Rahila. It's such a pleasure, such a pleasure to have you on board with us.
So excited! I am so excited. Thank you so much, Yusuf and Joy.
Pleasure.
And yay to
Absolute
create
pleasure.
the edge. This
Absolute
is
pleasure.
mind
Absolute
blowing
pleasure.
stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored and privileged to join. And what a fantastic panel we have.
It's our honor. It's our honor. Thank you so much for that. So, Faith, brother, I would love your sharing on it. I'm not sure whether you're. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'd be able to hear you, brother. So, would love to hear what you have to say. At all, Faith. I'm sorry.
We can't hear you, Faith.
No, I think your microphone is not working properly, unfortunately. So, would you be able to? Are you using headphones? Are you using headphones, Faith? Maybe if you use headphones, it might work better. But anyways, I'm gonna get Rahila to actually give her perspective on how important the human connection is in business.
Yeah, I managed to hear, but in the sharing whilst I was waiting, moving into the fourth industrial revolution, I believe the personal growth industry is accelerating at a very alarming rate because humans are wanting to know more about themselves and in developing themselves. So in the way we are training and developing human potential, human capital is the most valuable asset in a family and in a business. And why is it so important is that we're feeling ourselves in the human biology of being walking, talking biology first, in being human, in understanding our thoughts, emotions, our behavior better, in letting go of our past toxic nature, and then looking at the next bit, which is very, very important, is the psychology. And with the new psychology comes emotional and spiritual intelligence. And the more self-awareness there is, the greater the improvement in relationships. So it is about becoming CEO of self, firstly in the home, that we can teach our children, our family.
Uh-oh, we lost Rahila there.
Oh, goodness. We've lost Rahila.
We lost Rahila as she was explaining about taking charge of self. So
absolutely.
And
but
the home shut her out.
Yeah. But see, this is the joys of actually being live. Because you don't know what is going to happen. So at this present moment, I'm actually going to bring in Virginie. Thank you so much, Virginie, for joining us. You're on holiday, and we really appreciate you taking the time out to join us here today. So thank you so much for joining us all the way from Croatia. So and before we go further, John would really love to thank you once again for your support, brother. Really appreciate you being with us and being an integral part of our CTE family, and wishing you all the very best with what you're doing with One Nation and everything that you're doing, brother. And we are there with you. Your entire CTE, your entire LinkedIn family is there with you. So thank you so much, John. Really appreciate you joining us today on today's live, and we really appreciate your time and your input.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, man, and I should be thanking you guys for organizing such kind of a great thing. It's a value add as.
Absolutely.
Also meeting people like Watch Lady. She knows what she's doing is great, and we've never met live. And seeing her live is great. Seeing Rahila and Randa, these are supportive women across the LinkedIn. And it's a pleasure, Joey and Saheb. I really wish that this will continue the same and let us bring the world to one thing. This is one nation already, and I really love it.
Absolutely. It is. Thank you so much, John. Really appreciate your input. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You were saying.
Yeah, and Rahila, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being able to join us back. I hope we will not be. Oh goodness, we've lost Rahila once again. So I think we're having. South Africa doesn't like us today for some reason.
Looks like it. Looks like it.
You know, South Africa doesn't like us. I think Africa doesn't like us today. So we is unable to log in all the way from Nigeria. He's been trying a few times, and we can't see him, or we can't even hear him. So I've been trying to add him a couple of times, but so I will have to sort of we will have to move on, because we do have our other amazing guests who are waiting in the background. So thank you so much, Andrada, the Golden Sparrow. Really appreciate it. And we've got Faith. Hopefully we'll be able to hear you now. And I'm going to bring Rahila back and get her to just finish what you were saying. Rahila, you were saying some amazing things. Yeah. You got cut out by technology, unfortunately.
Basically, we're having a bit of a problem, I don't know, for some reason, is about developing human potential is that we develop ourselves first in the home. In looking at three components, the biology, the psychology, and the sociology, because when we can master these three, I feel we become whole, and that is where we can access the best human potential. And this is where business will thrive, and this is where we have healthy relationships, and the gross national product then will be happiness.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Thank you so much. Sorry.
Thank you. No. Thank you so much, Rahila. I mean, see, this is the beauty and the curse of technology. Sometimes it brings us closer, but it sort of we get too dependent on it to a certain extent.
So technology is telling us it doesn't like us bringing hearts and minds to it. We are trying to bring hearts and minds to technology. South Africa, Africa is giving us a signal that the technology there does not like us to bring hearts and minds. No. Maybe.
Not yet.
Right. In developing human potential, there's a marriage of soft skills and hard skills, eh?
Yes.
The men and the women together.
True. No, but thank you. So brilliantly said, Rahila. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rahila. I'm gonna, Andrada, I'm gonna take you off the feed for the time being. Thank you so much, Andrada. Really appreciate it. All the love and support that you've given us. We really appreciate. We really appreciate that. So thank you once again. Thank you once again, Rahila.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having us.
No, it's our pleasure. It is absolutely our pleasure. Thank you so much, Andrada. Thank you so much, Rahila.
Thank you so much, Andrada. Thank you, Rahila. Thank you so much.
Bye, Joy. Thank you. Bye.
Faith, can we hear you? Let's see.
No, Faith is frozen.
Faith, you're completely frozen, brother. We can't see you. Neither can we hear you. I'm going to be actually adding our next two guests.
Yeah,
I've got Sam Chain all the way from Florida. Sam, you're live. It's lovely.
Hey, how's everything, guys? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
We're battling technology, bringing minds and hearts, and technology is throwing us out.
Correct. And I'm going to be adding Jasmine Wilson, all the way from the United Kingdom. You are still our one and only guest that we've had from the United Kingdom, Jasmine. So
she is our star from UK. Is the only guest from UK who loves to come and create the edge.
Absolutely.
The rest of them don't like us.
Absolutely. And I'd like to invite Tehseen Manan all the way from Pakistan. Thank you so much, Tehseen. You are live at this present moment. You look flabbergasted, but no, that's great. You are here with family. So that is the main thing. So thank you so much, Tehseen, for joining us here. And yes. How's everything with you, Tehseen? Just before we go a little further, I can see that you're logged in from 2 devices. So the device you're presently looking at now, or you're connected to, leave that. If you could just log out from the other device, that will be great, Tehseen. It shows you're connected from 2 devices. But can you speak? I just want to make sure that we can hear you.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can hear you. Perfect. So, Tehseen, I'd like to actually start with you. How you feel the importance of human, how the self transformation. How important do you think that is?
I'm connected from 2 devices right now.
Yes, it shows 2 devices, but that's fine. You, just talk. We can hear you perfectly. Now
Okay.
it's fine. 1 device, perfect. Yes.
Tessin, did you get the question?
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. We're wanting to hear your inputs regarding the importance of self transformation.
I'm hearing so many voices right now.
That nobody's talking.
Oh, no one's talking.
She's still on the backstage. Okay, I tell you what. While we switch this over, let's start with Virginie and get her point of view, because I know Virginie's pressed for time also.
Yes.
So while Tessin's audio is being worked out, Virginie, take it away. Your perspective on self transformation, because you've done it. So let's hear a couple of points.
Sure. So first of all, Sahab and Joy, thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored and grateful to be here. So happy anniversary to both of you. It's great.
Thank you.
So the importance of self-transformation, I think it's critical. When we transform ourselves, we sometimes discover things we were not even aware we were capable of doing. And that is when we unleash our potential and we optimize our potential. And I'm currently right in the middle of it. As you know, I was been working for more than 20 years in corporate organizations, and now trying to start on my own since last year. And every day I'm learning new things, meeting new people, and it's amazing. I'm really grateful for the whole experience. And as I say, discovering things I was not even aware of. So this is something I would encourage everyone, is really taking the time to really dive deep and find out, okay, what do I really want? What do I really like? And what am I good at? And how can I move and transform myself further? And as I say, you never know where it's going to take you. So so that's my advice to everybody on self-transformation.
And that is so succinctly put. Actually, I mean, you've gone through so many life-changing moments yourself, right? Where you've had to transform. I mean, I'd like you to just very quickly share, your
my revenge life.
Exactly. Your immense, your health issue, where the doctor actually said you'd never be able to a certain extent, to walk again. And now you're a professional dancer to a certain extent, right? As well.
Yes, correct. So 20 years ago, indeed, I had a very serious car accident. I had to stay 3 months in the hospital. And at some point, the doctors indeed told me they have been very afraid I would be paralyzed. And then after, they told me I would limp. Fortunately, none of that happened. And since then, as you rightly said, I've learned to dance salsa. And I'm actually here in Croatia for a salsa festival. So I've been dancing almost non-stop for 10 days.
Virginie, where are your chairs? I mean, we're looking forward to some of the videos with you dancing.
She's busy doing shows in the night. It's too hard to do posts in the day.
Exactly. No, I didn't get the chance to have proper videos, but they will come for sure. I promise they will.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Virginie. I know you're pressed for time. We really, really appreciate you joining us all the way from Croatia, and you're joining us from your holiday, which basically just shows the power of the connections that people have over LinkedIn, right?
I would not have wanted to miss that. So thank you.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely grateful.
Thank you for that. Absolutely grateful.
Thank you so much, Virginie. I'm going to remove you off the feed, and thank you so much. Have a lovely holiday. Right, I'm actually going to add Justina and Vlad all the way from Romania, and
there. So
they might. Yep. So cute. That is absolutely fantastic. That is
coming with Pixel.
No, that's not Pixel. Pixel is their cat.
Oh, Pixel is the cat. I got mixed up.
Anyways, so I'm actually going to go back to Tessin. So Tessin, if you can hear us, would love your input regarding what you think is the importance of self-transformation.
Okay, first of all, I would like to congratulate you guys that I remember last time when we talked, Joy said that you guys want all of us to bring together. And today we are here. So big shout out to you guys.
Brilliant memory. Brilliant memory.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is one way.
Let's get back to the questions, self-transformation. Yeah, self-transformation for me is a self-discovery. I think we all have gone through that rough patch in our lives when we need to find ourselves, when we feel stuck and we don't find way to get out of it. Let me quote my example over here. I had that rough patch in my career when I used to feel that I'm stuck and maybe things are not working for me. So I remember one of my manager advice that he said, you know, Tessin, what you need to change? You need to change yourself. You need to change, maybe you need to change your perception. If you cannot change your perception, you need to change your procedure. So it's totally up to us how to transform ourselves. We have to find ourselves. It's quite easy to pinpoint others and blaming the situation or maybe blaming the other people that maybe they are responsible for the situation we are having right now. But it's very not so often we feel that it's us we need to change. We need to find our inner self. We have to find our inner strength, our inner power to know ourselves. So,
Beautifully said.
yeah. So
that's so true. That is so true, Tessin. Thank you for thank you for actually bringing that up. So yeah, please go on. Go on. That's beautiful.
I would say that whenever we feel that we are stuck somewhere or maybe we are having difficulty in taking some decision, let's just connect to your inner self and ask yourself, is it working out for you? And I'm sure that you'll find the answer within yourself. Don't ask others. They won't help you. Only you can help yourself. Only you can transform yourself. Only you can rediscover yourself. So whenever it happens, just take a hard look at yourself and ask, is that the person you wanted to be? If not, then you need to change yourself. That's it. Thank you.
See, that is so beautiful, especially what you said. You know, it is a constant rediscovery of yourself. And that brings me very beautifully to Sam.
Absolutely.
The constant rediscovery of yourself. And thank you so much, Tessin, for your beautiful share. So Sam, your input, brother, would love to get your, how you were, as during our last share, you said something so powerful. You came out from under a rock. Yep. And you found yourself, you transformed yourself, brother, and now you're helping so many other people transform themselves, their lives. Tell us about how you're doing that, please. We would love to know.
So life is a game of hide and seek.
Very true.
The truth hides, and we have to seek for it in a world of darkness, or a world of darkness that has light waiting behind it to be discovered. So the self-transformation is not actually necessarily about us. It's about how we matter to the world and how the world needs us. And that's the journey of life. I mean, we find ourselves not only deep within ourselves, but we find ourselves also in the journey of engaging with the world. So at every which point and every which endeavor in which we engage in this world, the journey of self-discovery, but also the world at large, to discover its light, to discover its greater value in a world of just a maze of darkness. Self-transformation is actually, the world transformation is the world of matter discovering the energy that's hiding underneath it, and that's waiting to be discovered by us through our particular journey of personal growth and through our professional growth and just the way we make an impact in every which way. So the world really needs us more than we need ourselves for self-transformation. The question is, how humble and how adaptable are we in the perception, like Tessin said, to look at the protocol, look at the procedure, look at the progress, and look at everything we're going through to really see how everything is just about self-transformation, and we're really all under a work in progress. We're all under construction, so to speak, to come to greater world vision towards world peace. And that means that, at the end of the day, we're all looking to find what's hiding, what's hidden beneath everything, behind everything.
Which leads very beautifully into Jasmine and #diving deep.
Hello.
Hi, Jasmine.
Thank you so much once again. Thank you so much once again for joining us from the UK. You've taken a hiatus from LinkedIn. We saw your first post today after such a long time. So you had your LinkedIn family missing you, Jasmine. So welcome back, and what a way to come back. Gracing us with your amazing presence once again on Create the Edge. Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back, and thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be back. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Couldn't have been done without the support and each and every single one of you. So just wanted to let you know.
Absolutely. So self-transformation for me is crucial. It's really the motivating factor in keeping me out of my comfort zone, keeping me stagnant and kind of stuck in life. It's always keeping me to strive to transform. So I think the easiest thing in life is to go through some form of transformation and think, okay, that's who I'm supposed to be. I've done it now. I found myself. But once you keep going and you strive to keep transforming, the possibilities to who you can be are endless. I mean, so it's very critical for me.
Absolutely, and tell us a little bit about what you have actually done in the past, especially you obviously you come from a management consulting background, right? And how important it is for self-transformation to be an integral part of also the leadership journey as well, because in especially in change management and those kinds of management consulting.
Mm-hmm. It's crucial. I mean, I'm always having to adapt. And something I mentioned before, I came from another country. I lived there for a long time, and business, life, everything was so completely different. So I really had to transform and adapt with the times and the place where I was. So it's a work in progress, as Sam said. It's an ongoing process. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Beautifully put. So, I mean, thank you so much, Tehseen. We really, really appreciate you being here with us and giving us your inputs and your insights. The work that you do, especially in the fashion design industry, and you're just an amazing voice for women entrepreneurship, women empowerment across Pakistan and in the Asian region. And thank you so much. Just keep shining. There are so many people who actually look up to you, who are inspired by you, Tehseen. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to be removing you from the stream. Thank you so much, Tehseen, for the timing. Thank you. And Sam and Jasmine, so appreciate both of you taking the time out and being with us. On Create the Edge. It means
so
an absolute lot. It means an awful lot to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you.
You do. It's amazing, and it's a movement, really. And there's nothing greater than coming together and collaborating in such a cosmic way.
Couldn't agree more. And we should. We've had so many people telling us that we should do this more often, and with more people around the world, so that they can actually sort of it's like having a kind of a worldwide panel discussion, right, at the same time. And that's so powerful, right? Where you can see each other. Just that human connection is so important. So
yeah, you guys particularly. The only way that anybody could do it is actually if they live from that deeper space. And you two, Joy and Saheb, you living from that space is really a big determining factor in actually executing so well and making such an impact.
So thank you so much, brother.
So appreciate it. And Jasmine, thank you so much. Welcome back to LinkedIn once again.
Welcome back.
And thank you so much for joining us and giving us your beautiful perspective. Your shares, your videos, especially on how important it is to go deep inside yourself, to actually find true meaning to what you're doing is so beautiful. So thank you so much, Jasmine, and thank you so much, Sam, for joining us. Really, really appreciate you joining us from the UK and you from Florida. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, guys.
Hi, Christina.
Really appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey.
Okay.
So we have Vlad and Christina. And there's Ida. Hi, Ida.
And Dr. AJ Manai, DisruptorCon. Okay.
DisruptorCon, finally.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. So now very quickly before I even go to AJ and Ida. AJ, your mic is muted by the way, so if you want to unmute yourself, that'll be great.
Lovely.
I would just like to say something to
Gotcha.
Justina and Vlad. And
Yes.
you know, you both have been on screen, and the reason why I put you both on screen is that I think, right, you both are the cutest couple.
LinkedIn couple. Yep.
Seen.
Yep. Well
Right?
said.
Y'all are just
Yeah.
y'all are just adorable, and you know what? It's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And
Thank you guys. Yeah, I hope we didn't mess the other guys' time. We were fooling around.
No, absolutely not. You know, see, this is the human.
You were
connection,
live.
right?
It's all right.
Yeah,
You were
we
live.
found out we were live.
You were live. LinkedIn Worldwide watched you. You're the cutest couple on LinkedIn. So tomorrow your boxes are going to be full. Your message boxes are going to be pinging like crazy. But lovely to have you guys.
Lacey and Tony Abachi may have something to say about that. So
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Totally.
and also Jay and Louise as well from the US.
Yeah, Jay and
they
Louise. That's right.
They may have something to say as well. But Justina and Vlad, you know, you're definitely the cutest couple that we know of in the CTE family at present.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna blush.
Okay.
So
Flash off camera. Let's get down to humanizing disruption.
Down to business.
Absolutely.
I feel a little bit crazy today, so
Yeah, she made her warm up with some AC/DC just to get in the mood, and now
Go ahead.
AC/DC. Wow.
No problem. No problem.
Okay, guys.
go on. So Vlad and Justina, I just wanted to actually very briefly, you know, y'all attended the blockchain summit like about a week ago, right? Tell us a little bit more regarding Coreto and what you guys are doing, and y'all have just gone live and stuff along those lines. We would love to know.
Okay, so very briefly, we're building with Coreto. We are building a reputation-based crypto social platform. The main idea is to build the trust between the communities that are inside the blockchain space. We all know that the blockchain is still very niched. The communities are still, although they are spread around the world, they are still united in some way. So we want to build and bring the trust between the retail investors, the influencers, and the project teams into one platform. And we are going to use the blockchain immutability properties and the transparency of it to help the retail investor assess much faster whose opinion should they listen to. We're going to help the influencers build a reputation that is going to be easier for their followers to assess their knowledge, but on clear facts and numbers, not just I am the best in XYZ. I want you to show me that you are the best with XYZ. Yeah. So very briefly, this is what we're doing with Coreto. Please reach out to us, connect on LinkedIn. We will go in much detail with anyone interested. Regarding the blockchain week, yeah, we're very excited because last week it was the first event in Romania. It was the event that put the Romanian blockchain communities on the map. We had an amazing feedback both on our project, and also we were very impressed by the number of Romanian blockchain projects that are out there, but they are still under the radar. So when they will explode, we're gonna be so thrilled about it. Very good panels. The main takeaways are that there is still a long way to go for adoption. Unfortunately, the retail investor is still afraid to enter this space because they are still uncertain about all the movement. But in the same time, as you all know, institutional investors are still here. They are still lurking around, trying to find the next unicorns.
Pick me.
Yeah.
Pick me. Yeah.
She's my unicorn.
Oh yes, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. You are each other's unicorn. So yeah, beautiful. It's so beautiful to see, actually. So
and what my personal opinion about what we saw here is that although maybe the number of attendees wasn't as high as possible as they expected, the quality was very high. And there was a lot of accent put on fintech projects, on ways in which it will be easier for the regular Joe, you and me, let's say, to interact with the blockchain technology and to understand better the cryptocurrencies and what they're all about. It's not just about speculations and for doing quick bucks. It's also very revolutionizing. It's revolutionizing a lot of industries. Up until now, I know about 54, something like that. So, oh, I hear a cat.
That is correct. Wow. Is that Pixel? Is that Pixel?
That's my cat.
Oh, that's Ida.
Oh, is that Ida's cat? Oh, okay. Goodness, we've had like 3 different cats from 3 different countries here on the LinkedIn Live. That is brilliant.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Absolutely. Ida, would love your input regarding disruption. What does disruption mean to you? How have you disrupted yourself? And just your inputs regarding what we are talking about.
Well, how am I disrupting myself? I think AJ can answer that. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, man, don't get me started.
Okay, I don't know. I think disruption, like we talked about the last video, we talk about disruption, right? That during my time or my younger days, disruption we call as what challenging status quo, or they can call you even like anti-establishment, because we keep on disrupting whatever that's been done normally. Okay, so I guess now it's more sexier because the word disruption is like everywhere and everybody loves to use the word disruptive or disruption. Yeah, so yeah, I guess everybody wants to understand what disruption is all about. And to me, I mean, I disrupt my life every 10 years. But now I guess I'm disrupting my life almost every minute. I've got a disruption last week, and I'm having disruption earlier today and tomorrow. And we just need to learn and cope with it and embrace it. Do not resist it. Challenge your mindset, especially the mindset. I mean, disruption out there is so fast. You talk about blockchain. Honestly, I don't really understand what blockchain is all about, but I'm trying to learn my best to understand what's blockchain. And it's like, okay, how can we cope with all these things? And it is very emotionally draining at times, but that is where you need to always maintain your ground and always stay focused and have friends like Joy, Sahib, AJ around you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That could always bring you back and look at disruption from the positive side of it rather than negative side of it. Yes, some disruption can be negative, but I always believe behind everything, there's always something that you can earn from it. Behind every storm, there's always a rainbow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
As for making blockchain simple, we are working on that. I mean, the human block's gonna get to you also, so don't worry. We'll hope.
Absolutely.
Hope to make it.
Exactly. I was listening to Vlad, and I was like, in my mind, I was like thinking, how do you blockchain people? Like putting people in that kind of thing. I was like,
I'll tell you how you can connect blockchain to humans, because that is exactly what we actually discussed. Very strangely enough, in our part 1 today.
Morning. Yeah.
So the past, the present, and the future, right? Everything that happens in life is interconnected, right? So the choices you make in the past is the reason why we are here in the present. The choices we make in the present is what will happen to us in the future. So our life is actually a blockchain. So and any little aspect that we change at any given point in time in our past or in our present will have an impact on our future. And this is something which, to a certain extent, there was a post, and a shout out to my brother from another mother down under in Sydney, Ahmed Imam. He did a post a few months ago where he was like, there are 2 doors, the blue door and the red door, right? Something like the Matrix. And he's like, there's one door, and this door will take you back, to when you were 10 years old, and you can relive your life, from starting over from when you were 10 years old, but knowing what will happen at every step of the way till you're here now. Or would you take that door which will take you 15 years into the future? Now, a lot of people actually, and that was me as well, I actually, my immediate reaction was like, I'm going to go back to the past. But then, after introspection, I was like, do I really want to change each and every element in my present situation at this moment? No. There may be certain things that we all want to change in life, in our existence, but the lifetime blockchain that we are all entangled in, right? If you take out one element from there, it's
Everything
going to
changes.
absolute every single damn thing changes. And that is the exact same thing about blockchain. So there you go. Humanized blockchain right
We will
there.
not be able to change anything. It's immutable. Yeah.
There you go.
But I
Incorruptible.
wouldn't
Wow.
want to go when I was 10. Neither I want to go 15 years ahead.
That makes two of us, I know. That makes two of us. Neither of us want to go back or go shoot forward.
Yeah.
We're happy
Beautifully said.
you're at.
Beautifully said. Would love actually AJ to sort of sum up the discussion for us here.
Wow. Summing up a discussion at 12:20 in the morning, past midnight.
I know.
That's all right. It's just about disruption. It's you do
I'm
it
like,
on your sleep.
so you know what I realized? I realized that that people don't need to drink alcohol anymore. They just need to tune in to Create the Edge.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. That is so kind of you.
I'm wired. It's 12:30 in the morning, and I'm wired. I feel more alive because I'm on Create the Edge than I would ever party with my friends. It's an amazing opportunity to revisit Create the Edge, and congratulations, guys!
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, that was, I don't know what that was. Sounded like somebody from the past. Wow. So do you hear that? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Noise? What is that?
I'm not sure whose mic is that, but okay. Yeah,
mine.
Doesn't matter. Real life.
If it's mine, right?
No,
but I mean, humanizing disruption, humanizing any emerging technology with a context to blockchain. I mean, that's the reason why Create the Edge, Dr. AJ came together to create the human block. And the human block is simply put, being able to take people's stories. I mean, take Vlad and Yusina, for example. I mean, they've started something amazing with Corrado. And Corrado is something that's going to change people's lives. It isn't something that they're doing for the fame or for the money. They're doing it because it's going to add value. It's going to add value to people's lives. And that is what is really important. People need to understand it doesn't matter whether you're in AI, whether you're in blockchain, whether you're in Python, whatever you're doing, man, whatever it's next level, ask yourself, what is the problem that you're solving? What am I doing for humanity? And that's what you're talking about.
Why?
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Your why. Why are you doing it? Right? If you get back answers like, oh, because it's the latest thing to do, because it's cool, because it's glamorous, trust me, you're in the wrong business at the wrong time. Because you won't survive for more than forget about years. You won't survive for months because you're hustling and you're trying to make your dream into a reality. And it's not easy when you're a startup hustler. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So for me, wrapping up and summarizing for us is simply go out there and be real. Be who you are. Don't be afraid to show the world who you are, right? Like for me, I'm a storyteller. I don't care what anybody calls it, whether they like it or not, there comes a point in your life where you stop caring about what the world thinks about you. You stop caring what people think about you, what they're saying about you. You just do what you got to do because you know it adds value to people's lives and it's in your own way, right? So for us, the human block, Corrado, Ida with her amazing advice, right? Joy and Sahib with Create the Edge, you rock stars. We just need to go out there, live our lives, do what we got to do, tell our stories, and then change the bloody world, man.
That's disruption. That's disruption in any other way. Beautifully said. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to add to AJ because the moment that we decided to just be ourselves and show to anybody that was asking about, hey, what are you doing? How is going to do that and going to do that and blah, 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 blah. The moment that we decide to just be ourselves and talk from their heart, and for them to understand exactly our passion, our motives, our why, is the moment that people really understood, and is the moment that they decided to join us and help us build it. And right now, we are going to do also an announcement soon that we're going to open our pre-seed. It's going to
Beautiful.
be public.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Because we've had solicitations, and I said, oh, sure, if you want to join us, join us. You're going to support us, you're going to help us. This is the way to go. So when you make the decision to be open and transparent, you have no idea how the world or the universe is going to repay you.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. So really appreciate
Thank
you,
you so
Stina and
much.
Vlad, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. Our regards to Philippe as well, and please give us a love. And Philippe is their son, who is an absolute darling. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christina. Really appreciate it. Thank you. All the best. We get in touch. We will be in touch with you on the human block soon.
Yes,
we will.
I'll see you in the human block.
See you soon.
Bye.
All right. So thank you so much, and AJ and Ida. Before we take your leave, I'm gonna we've got a little bit of an announcement. We've got 2 other guests waiting for us in the back room, and
that's surprise guest.
A surprise guest. One of them was here in the morning, but he had a bit of a technical glitch, and he's a brother man, and he just is absolutely phenomenal in what he does and the way he does it. And the other person needs no introduction at all.
Legend.
So I'm gonna put in none other than the Iron Man of branding, David Breyer. Thank you so much, brother. So
thank you so much, David.
Hey.
Wow.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, loud and clear, David.
Awesome.
Loud and clear. We love you. Oh, man.
Finally. And I'm gonna add in none other than drumroll, Michael David Chapman. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, we got. I sent David a new modem this morning so he could make it. He's still on a flip phone and AOL or something like that. He's still getting the CD in the mail for AOL, like version 79.
Dude, there's only going to be one thing flipping this morning. It ain't going to be my phone.
He started the internet before Al Gore invented it. So
there you go. So what we are going to be discussing about is Monday Mojo.
Monday Mojo.
Monday.
Now I know what David was talking about when he's flipping things. Monday Mojo. Wow.
So MDC. Just a quick thing. We are live here. Do you actually want to read out some of the comments and the private chat that you were having?
I
was literally crying. So everyone, if you see me, like people are talking about something very, very serious, and I'm just laughing,
I just wondering what planet I just came from. So I was sitting here saying, we're talking about blockchain disruption, and I said, hey, I'm trying to disrupt this session, so say this. And I was like pulling the Dwight Schrute, where he's like, say it. So I was trying to get you to say that my MDC is a blockhead stuck in a blockchain wrapped in an enigma looking for a maze and chewing a gum wrapper. You didn't say it. You didn't say it.
I read that.
I'm a little bit disappointed.
That's my experience.
I'm trying to get Joy to smile. Joy smiled like last week. I'm trying to get Joy to smile more.
Michael, I read that. I was trying to be serious.
There you go. On your screen, MDC is a blockhead stuck in a blockchain, wrapped in an enigma, looking for a maze and chewing a gum wrapper.
Good God.
You're missing one thing while slugging a warm beer. You missed that one detail.
Warm water. Could be. It's a blue cup for a reason.
Thank you so much. That is absolutely fantastic. So, Ida, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simon.
Are we going to see the comments? Like, this is weird. Like, are we going to see the comments?
Thank you, Ida.
Thank you, Ida. Really appreciate it. So appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna keep you with us for a little while longer, AJ. And so, mate, MDC, it's so amazing to have you back with us. Love what you're doing. Love what you're doing. I love your shirt. Does your shirt say Irish on it? There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, but
the font is a bit small, David.
But his shirt is not safe to actually. It actually decodes when he stands in front of the mirror and you see it in reverse. It says something entirely different. It's very weird. Trust me.
Horse S.
Horse.
I'll let you go out. I'll let you guys do the mouth. Horse S.
Oh man. How did we
Notre Dame fans are just blocking me right now? I'm not an Irish. I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but I bought this shirt to look like I was a Notre Dame fan, and it works.
This is.
Are we going to talk about anything meaningful, or are we going to waste people's time? I just want to know if we're in waste people's time mode. Let's just tell them right up front: this is a complete waste of the next 10 minutes or whatever of your life. It's complete disclosure and respect. If we're going to talk about something meaningful, then I better just shut up.
Right. So, okay, you know something. We were having a chat, right? AJ, when he was in Singapore, we were having a chat, and he was asking, "So, how is MDC?" Right?
Yeah,
face to face, and I was like, "Oh my word, that guy is one of the coolest dudes that you can know." I mean, it is so true.
It's clearly apparent. It is clearly apparent right now.
Exactly. So,
a lot of times, back to that fifth grader cell phone, and a lot of time. That's me.
So this is what Monday Mojo is. This is what Monday Mojo is. We just
Monday Mojo is just a bunch of guys, just a bunch of guys hanging out. Just talking a little. Quite a lot of nothing, but trying to make something out of it. So, but
Dude,
that's
where David comes in. It's a good thing we don't all work in the same office, because this would be like the water cooler, and this would be. It would always be occupied.
It will always be occupied. Yep.
Stuff I could share about David.
We'd always be well hydrated and extremely useless.
Tons of nicotine.
Tell people the truth. Like, these lives are like, hey, this is about to be the biggest waste of your time, or you're going to die laughing. It's somewhere in between.
Why either or? Why not both? Why not and you'll die laughing? Go for the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've got Mr. Disrupticon here as well. So, but thank you very much, AJ. We really, really appreciate your time that you spent with us. Really appreciate it, brother. It's 12:30, past midnight here in Singapore, as well as in Kuala Lumpur. You have a lovely day.
Wait. I just want to say that I was listening to AJ before you brought us on, and AJ, I actually sent you a message in LinkedIn. I thought what you said was spot on. It totally spoke to me. Absolutely was awesome. So
thank you, David. Thank you. It's absolutely thrilling to be online with MDC and David Breyer, man. You guys are legends, man. For real. I look up to you. Nothing but love.
Thanks, man. I wasn't sure you wore that hat all the time, but now I know you do.
He's got 43 hats.
I wear this beard all the time.
and the only reason that I associate routinely with MDC is because he sounds like a network. It's like there's ABC, CBS, and MDC. I only associate with people who are like, I
can see the love. I can see the love that between the two of you. It's like one swipe and then one swipe. It's like that.
Can you imagine what would have happened if we had reached out to get Grant Cardone in the middle of this? Between MDC and David Breyer with Grant Cardone, we would have been thrown off LinkedIn, I can tell you.
Exactly. Well, after this, I'm changing my initials to MTV, so that's where I'm going.
AOL.
MTV. You got to be MTV. Don't confuse it with MTV.
David, this is the internet.
Oh, that's what it looks like. Awesome, dude.
I wasn't on the session, dude. All I know is, you did this classic. I don't know what's going on with my cell phone internet thing. I don't know. I was asleep. I was counting sheep at 12:15.
See, I'd love to call you up as a witness in a jury case, because it's like, well, I don't really know what happened. I wasn't there. I was asleep. But let me tell you actually what occurred.
That's what you want to tell yourself.
Kind of like how this conversation is going to feel when I wake up tomorrow morning. It's like 12:30 in the morning.
It'll be
right
painful.
Absolutely. So, AJ, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you so much,
for joining
AJ.
us. Really appreciate it.
Much
Thank
love,
you,
guys. Thank you so much.
Take
Ciao, guys.
Take
Take care.
Absolutely.
See ya. All right. So, goodness.
The deadly quartet. Here we go.
So we kicked all these people off so we can like get what?
We can get meaningful. We can get meaningful.
No. We can actually
I'm
see each other. So we can see each other a little bit bigger on the screen, mate. So come on.
I always envisioned Michael to be a little bit bigger.
There's a comma. I'm a comma guy. Maybe a half pipe on that one. Like a comma. Like, I don't know.
I'm actually
I'm gonna let you have that one.
Tears coming out of my eyes right now. This is
Yeah.
I was
just
actually
went French on it.
I was honestly David and MD. I was trying to get Dino to stay awake long enough in Perth, and he was like, he's got a meeting, so he would have joined us otherwise as well. So
exactly.
Oh, he's actually generating revenue with his time. There you go. That's why he didn't come here, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
there you go. There you go.
I couldn't help it. You laid me up for that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, David, actually, just because MDC put it through very well. We can either sort of give a little bit of feedback and a little bit of value to our network, or we can just absolutely talk rubbish. So let's do both to a certain extent. I'll let MDC do the waste of time thing.
No, we're not going to do that. Are we going an hour?
What MDC said.
I read like only 10%. Like, what are we doing? Are we doing 45 minutes? What are we doing?
Brother,
6 minutes.
whatever you like to do.
Oh. Hold on.
But like 20
Let me
minutes,
blow
30
up the
minutes.
rest of my day.
There you go.
3 minutes each.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
David, number one. So, I'd like to ask you because, we really, really wanted to get your input because I call you the Iron Man of branding for a reason. And, how important is, come on, he does look like Robert Downey Jr., MDC. Come on. You have to accept, he's growing his facial hair for some reason. I mean, come on. You put him in an Iron Man costume. I'm telling you, he's going to fly by without being noticed.
It's true. It's true.
Look how confident. Look at the confidence. It's true. Go ahead.
So, David, would love your input regarding how important do you think is personal and business branding, and what are certain key things that senior leaders are missing out on, where they're actually they're doing everything, but they're missing out on some key element which is not allowing them to actually fulfill or get to their potential.
Oh, totally. I mean, I think there's a few key highlights, a few key things that come to mind. One is they don't have enough clarity on their own story and their own sort of role in this larger scope of living, business, etc., and activities that they don't feel comfortable enough with that firm platform to actually go off script. If you have clarity on what you stand for, what values you stand for, and what your role is in the world, and who you are helping, and who are the heroes and who are the villains in the story that you're participating in. Mm-hmm. If you don't have clarity on that, you're going to want to stick to the script and kind of stay within a very finite, boring, predictable. And I think that the more that you are true to that, and I think that that's actually one of the places where Michael really shines, because one of the things that Michael, we talk, offline as well as online. And I always say one of the shining traits and qualities that Michael exhibits is he's always in touch with his sort of slice. Well, I call it the slice of humanity, and it always comes through. There's always, whether he's, praising something or saying, he's looking at something, he's going, this could have been better. He still comes back to an ownership and an accountability and humanity, which I really, truly respect. That's one thing. The other thing that I think that the most CEOs and leaders are falling short on is they're choosing something as the finish line, which is actually the starting line. And what I mean by that is that I did a post maybe a month ago, and I said, self-awareness is not an end goal. Mm-hmm. Self-awareness is a starting point. That's the point from which you actually begin the dialogue. It's not like, oh, I finally arrived at self-awareness and it's all over. No, what do you now, how is that now going forward and expanding the environment that you're in and those that are around you. So to me, I said, that's the difference. If you stop, then that's selfish awareness. If you use it as a starting point, it's self-awareness. Mm-hmm. And so I think that those clarities and lastly, I would just say that too many focus on the factor of their own. People talk about self-worth and this, not the other. And again, it's like too insulated. It's like, you know what people are missing? They're not missing self-worth. Mm-hmm. They're missing other worth, meaning how important is the person in front of you? Yep. How important are the greatest leaders that we all respect and the greatest brands that we all respect are those that value you and me and say, what can we do for you? How can we empower you? How can we actually lift you up? And those that do that, they aren't left deprived because they've been giving. They're actually left more fulfilled because they gave. And I think those are just a few little side notes.
Couldn't agree more. And you beautifully put. And I think Joy would like to add a little bit to it. So go for it, brother.
To the Iron Man of branding, it's going to be extremely hard because those are 3 points he's made like they're like nails in the coffin. I mean, I'm listening to what David said and playing back conversations that Yusuf, you and I have had with company heads out here doing Create the Edge. And that's it. Because leaders or CEOs, if I may use that term, are training themselves to get EQ and self-awareness without realizing that that's just the starting goal. They think that once they've got that training certificate, I'm a better CEO. So that's one. Yeah. And connecting to the second point, when you come from that perspective, the storyline that you're trying to say, it's in the morning and earlier on part 1, we said, don't use the word authentic. It's become trite. But you're trying to force fit whatever story you're trying to say. As a result, when you step out of it, you're not you. You're not owning it. You're not putting it forth. So thank you, David. That's 3 great tips for the network. I mean, business-wise and individually. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more. And that actually brings me into, what I was wanting to originally ask Michael, and what you've actually done quite a few shares on recently as well, and what David touched upon as well. The importance of actually looking within yourself to find your true purpose. How important is it to introspect?
I used to think it was like this great quality that I was so great at that like I had to teach people around me, specifically when I still had direct reports. And what I realized, he just nailed it. Like I want to go back to, I'll answer your question, but I want to go back to what David said. Like
sure.
Self-worth, these same people that he's talking about, they don't talk, these leaders, they've gotten to a point where they don't sit around and think about their self-worth. It's because there is worth. It just sort of happens. And I know that sounds all mysterious and behind the curtain and how do you do it and whatever, but those people, they just create this environment where you sit across the table from them. And because they're introspective, because they've been down those paths, they just make you feel valuable. For me, introspection is really important because I've got 4 people in this home that are like mirrors at all different ages. I have 3 sons and a daughter. And so I use my daughter as an example. The post I did on Saturday or Sunday about I statements. I mean, that's been around for 100 years. I didn't invent that. But it was sort of my take on how I used to lead with you. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work with kids. And so if I had more time in that post, I would have told you about the disaster of what I've been doing with you lately. And so oftentimes the way I post and the way I get introspective and use introspection is by what I share. But behind the scenes, it's, typically when I write it out and share it, I'm usually writing it on my head and my heart. And it's because I've probably failed at it more than once, or it's real time. And I try not to bring the audience into that space too much, but just enough to say, look, I'm as fallible as you are. And so introspection is a gateway to that. I try not to spend too much time. I'll say this. I try not to spend too much time because sometimes going in, sometimes I don't come out and feel very good because of what's there, as I'm human like anybody else, but it's really important. It's really important. I practice it usually in the morning before I start my work.
Mm-hmm. I think you've put in a very important point. There's no point in just introspecting without actually sort of putting into concrete awareness as to how you're going to reflect upon it to actually take the necessary actions to actually go ahead and do something about it in life as well.
Absolutely.
So and I think that's the best thing to do, especially first thing in the morning, because morning starts the day, right? So and you very well put, Michael. I know you want to say something, so please go ahead.
Otherwise, it's just circular. Otherwise,
Yeah.
and I didn't come up with these catchphrases. Otherwise, you're just like you're the screenwriter, you're the lead actor, you're the supporting actress, whatever you are in your own movie. Like get in, get out. Like people talk about regret, and I say all the time, like I don't have a problem with regret. No regrets. No, I'll spend enough time in the rearview mirror just to get what I need, especially if there's like a recurrence. I've had some recurring attempts for toxicity to get into my life. And so I went back like 5-6 years of when I used to like to play in it, used to bathe in it, because I was just ignorant. I didn't understand how much it was like eroding my present and my potential. And I'll go back to what was a regret on something stupid I said or somebody that I hurt, and I'll pull from that and say, okay, how do I stay off this like treadmill? Like go in, get what I need, draw the boundary, move on. That's more of where I play these days.
And not only are you the actor and the director and all that kind of stuff, but you're also the makeup artist and also the stunt double, and that's very, very tough. That's very tough on someone's schedule.
It just gets old.
Well, unless you have a good makeup artist, and it doesn't get old ever.
And I'll just say, I don't want to paint like I'm immune to being, stuck in that. That's not my closest friends, and David's in that space. I mean, David and I talk more than he just alluded to. He's become a really close friend. Look, I struggle like anybody else. At the same time, you just, when you're alone with your own thoughts and you go do that intentional introspection, I just say, get in and get out. Get in and get it out. Have a purpose. Come out with 3 bullets, 2 bullets. Go put it in action and learn from it. Move forward.
See, beautifully said.
An emotional SWAT team is what he's describing. An emotional SWAT team.
because the more you actually think about things, right? You're going to talk yourself out, of doing things that you need to do. So you're going to analyze too much. So get in, get out. I couldn't agree more.
That's right.
Couldn't agree more. So, Joy, you wanted to say something?
Kind of like it's like a really good coffee house. You get in, you get out. You know what I mean? It's just like that.
Yeah, I was just going to say what you already said, Yusuf, which is we failed at going in and getting out because we go in, we get stuck like a quicksand or a quagmire because we don't have a fixed objective of what do we want. We go in there thinking we're going to visit it. And then what happens is you suddenly realize, oh, shit, you're in quicksand. And then you play around in that a little bit, and then that starts building something else, and doubts creep in, and boom, before you know, you're stuck there. No return back again, and the cycle repeats back in your present day.
You know what it is? You just said quicksand. Before you're looking at it like this because your toes are in it, but before long, you're looking up and you're like that, and it just becomes silly.
Absolutely. No, thanks. Thank you, Michael. I mean, that was
nailed it. Quicksand is exactly it. For long, you're like looking at it. Now you're like this, and it's silly.
Said, I mean, if you have that already in your head, then I'm going to introspect. I'm going to go in, visit. I'm going to get a couple of things or 3 points, and I'm going to come out. Then you're very objective. Okay, that's quicksand. Forget it. Go around the side or look at the top. Get what I need. Boom, out. And that's where, SWAT training, David. SWAT training is something different. So. Maybe we should find Michael.
That's his job. That's what he really does. I've been on a branding call with this guy by now. We should pick that apart. I won't give up any trade secrets because I still don't know what he does. Even though I've been on one.
He intervened.
You know what he's
Michael,
like? Can I say this? He'll probably get me fired with David. He's like Jimmy Johnson. Remember that when he came in there? What was it 1990 something? Tells it like it is. Really good at what he does. Puts together a couple championships. Moves on. That's David. Do I have it right? Is that fair?
That's. Well,
I think he's got a couple.
That in the space. I mean, you have much more compassion than that guy does, but
yeah, little more compassion, and I'm not going to be biting anybody's ear off.
He did that?
No, not him.
No, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
No. Wasn't Tyson? Was it Tyson or was it the tall boxer? Who?
You got to bring me up to speed. I get my news from friends. I cut my cable back off in like 19. 94. So I get, you know those guys that get their news from like a friend.
There's been interplanetary flights. There's been really cool stuff. We'll talk later.
I'm serious. You know those guys that get their. I was being. They do a talk about or walk about with a friend or whatever, and they get their news from a friend.
Well, see, that reminds me. Do you remember? There was that movie with Michael Douglas where it was like Romancing the Stone, and he's like in the jungle, and he's with Kathleen Turner, and he runs into this old bus, and there's this newspaper, and he opens it up, and he goes, "Damn it, the Doobie Brothers broke up," and she's like, "That happened years ago."
I still got an iPhone 3. There's a reason for that.
Does it still work? Does it actually
you guys
still work?
I'm taking that personal. Anyway, yeah.
You should.
You guys are absolutely fantastic. So, and
what we should have done is recorded one of those calls that we have, David.
Oh, I agree. Well, I said that after I think the one of the last ones, like two of them.
On his end, it'd be like bleep, 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 right? It's only one-sided.
It'll be like something coming out of the government that's been redacted. You have 3 words left.
Exactly.
Redacted.
That's a beautiful word. Whole like one sheet. That's like a 9-minute conversation. There's 3 vowels. That's all you get.
Yeah, exactly. It's like dude and then and then she.
I completely inflated that. I did that just to fill the space. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm hijacking this live for some reason.
Yeah, if you guys want to actually say something, you must dive in head first.
We're done. Yeah, there's no.
I mean, guys. I mean, we're just loving this. Absolutely loving this. I mean, you and MTC.
There's only like 3 people left on this.
I'm telling you,
everybody's left. They're just all left. They're like, this is.
No. There's people are absolutely loving it.
We actually just had a climb on the live.
With these clowns.
The numbers on the live feeds are going up.
All right.
Beautiful.
Absolutely a pleasure, MDC and David. It was such a pleasure, David. I mean, I was actually, both me, Joy, and I, we were just talking. Like,
Thank you so much.
It is so bad that you didn't find MDC in the morning to actually borrow his phone, right, for your internet. So.
Because he was sleeping, he couldn't get through to him.
He has a very
MDC never sleeps. MDC never sleeps. He's a robot.
Dude, in 12
correct?
When he was his rotary phone, I was asleep. When he was on his rotary phone trying to get on the internet or whatever he does, I was asleep. I can assure you of that.
But MDC has a very advanced state-of-the-art security system on his estate, and then there's bodyguards on the perimeter, and so. Right. Breaking through, I would have had to hire a whole SWAT team. It would, it would have been wild.
He's got a physical firewall, so to speak.
Oh, it's more than physical. I'm gonna get Michael a T-shirt that says, "I'm a spiritual firewall."
Oh, man. Wow, what a great segue. That's exactly where they were going. Exactly. Joy's got the next question. It's right there in front of him.
Nope, I don't. I'm not gonna walk into that one.
We're going
for a separate live. That's for a 24-hour live.
People just left the live. They're like, we're done. We knew it.
Yusuf, tell Michael the live feed numbers right now, because I can see over here. He's not gonna believe it. He's gonna believe you. Go ahead.
We've been absolutely, like, while all the others were there, we were averaging about 60 to about 55 to 65 people online at the same time. But as soon as MDC and David, you all came along, we are looking at over 80s. We are climbing up to 90, and people are just not leaving, mate. So
and is that the actual number of viewers, or is that just the average age that it's gone up?
Oh no, it's currently online.
He just lost 90 followers in that one statement. That's it.
The baby boomer generation, all of a sudden, it's like, wow, a bald dude and like another dude who's like, I don't know, who looks like Robert Downey or something.
Oh, Lila's in flight. She just said hello from the sky. Hi, Lila. How are you?
Lila.
Hey, yes, Lila. Hey, Lila. Yeah. Lila, Ahmad is going to be reaching out to you. Respond to him. That's what you got to do, Lila. You.
All right, let's say something. He's on a flight, David.
David, can we keep David on track here?
Yeah. I know it's me. It's not you. It's me. I know.
Blame works well.
So Lila says, I can't hear anything because I'm on a plane and my AirPods need to charge. Well, there you go.
All right.
Tell her
Thanks,
that we
Lila.
think. Tell her that we
Thank you,
think she's
Lila.
beautiful and we love what she's done with her hair today. Just tell her that that's from us.
She
have
can't
to
hear
type
us.
it.
She can't
She
hear
can't
us.
hear
So
us.
I can't sign, but I mean,
And I can't talk and type. That's not. If I talk and type, I'll blow up whatever is working. Like my mic is centered. Like
Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for coming over. MDC, really appreciate it, brother.
Thank you so much, Mike.
It was such a brilliant discussion with you and Rana
David.
last time. We really appreciated it. That was an absolute pleasure. And David, it is so good to actually catch up with you when we caught up with you in the morning as well. But it's so great to actually get you back into human mode and not in like an AI robot mode, which you suddenly had gone into. So, believe me, mate, there were robotic sounds.
Well, I wanted after that discussion, then my last night, your morning, I wanted to definitely make sure that I was able to inject a little bit of genuine non-artificiality.
There we go. Genuine non-art.
Say that again.
Hold that. Hold that.
Genuine non-art. Look. Randy
challenge my IQ.
No, Randy Heller had said that he felt that the word authenticity was being overused to the point of it really being
nailed
cliche.
that. Yeah.
And so I said, well, then what I offer on the table is that instead of saying that I'm going to be authentic, I'm going to provide genuine non-artificiality.
Yeah.
Randy's online right now, by the way.
Did you hear the wind?
Michael, it's gonna hit
There's
you.
no hair to move. Did you
It's
hear
gonna hit you like a brick this afternoon, dude. It's gonna hit you like a brick.
Or something. Nice job.
Well, anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
gentlemen. We really appreciate both the time that you both have taken out. And we've had a serious discussion. We've had banter. We've laughed. I've literally almost cried. And people online on the feed, they're just absolutely they're loving it. And Elaine at the moment from Los Angeles, she's actually transcribing to Lila as to what you said. So especially with you saying that her hair looks great. So mate, there are multiple mini conversations.
There are people sending it out.
As well. So love it.
I love it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So thank you so much, David. Thank you so much, MDC. It's been such a pleasure. No. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. It's a real pleasure. Thank you, Mike.
Next time, David's going to come to the table with his actual comedic act.
Well, you know what I may have to do. I may have to do this. I did do this once. You know Ted Rubin. You know Ted Rubin, Michael?
Yeah.
Yep. So Ted's got, he's like you. He's got the thing. He's got no hair here.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a shot of Ted and I superimposed my face on it. All I can say is, Michael, you look much better with your headset than I would ever look. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. So I'm just letting you know, I'm always going to be showing up with hair.
All right.
Now don't
enjoy, represent well.
Oh yeah, there you go. All I need to do is keep a goatee as well, and then the corners will be balanced out on your screen at the moment. So
absolutely.
In time.
But
yes,
thank you so much, David.
Michael,
thank you so much.
Thanks
really
for everybody
appreciate it.
signing in that joined this circus.
This is awesome.
Love it, guys. Thank you
Love
so
it.
much.
Love it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
See you, Michael. See you, David. Take care.
See you guys. Bye.
So thank you so much. Oh goodness, that was another epic episode, wasn't it, Joy?
Epic. I'm not even going to try and recap. We started with self-belief, went into transformation, went into disruption, and landed up with Monday Mojo. Whoa.
Monday.
Okay. That's all I can say over there. There's too much in there. And the 3 tips from David Breyer are still ringing in my head. So, wow. And it's 1:00 in the morning at our end.
Absolutely. So I'm going to very quickly wrap up and thank all the amazing guests that we've had today. Corey Warfield, brother, meant a lot for you to be there. The work that you do with uplifting the spirits of people around you. On LinkedIn, through your value in 30, through your amazing tips, your link tips. Keep on doing that, brother. It means a lot. Gurdeep, all the way from Bangalore in India. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate, the message that you have and being genuine, having that self-belief in yourself. That is so, so important. Davina, congratulations once again for being nominated as one of the 25 immigrants in Canada. And happy Canada Day to each and every one of you who's actually tuning in from Canada today. So thank you so much for joining in. And would like to also give a shout out to Caroline Fernandez. She tried on a few occasions, as a lot of you would have seen during the live feed, but her phone and her internet connection back in Bangalore was giving quite a few issues. So Caroline, we would have loved to hear your inputs and insights into the importance of self-belief, but what you are doing in the world of coaching and leadership, and basically just just having that belief in yourself to just go that one step forward, one step at a time incrementally, is absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much, Caroline. We would love to have you on board another time, and we look forward to that. Thank you so much, Juliet Herman. So appreciate you being an amazing guest as always, giving your inputs and insights. You are an impact maker, and with what you do with the 3 E's is absolutely fantastic. Brian Farkash, my brother, the only thing that comes to mind is that together is better. And you are such a genuine human being, and what you do for people and to people around you is absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Really, really appreciate it. Sandeep Mukhi, thank you so much for joining in. You are the quintessential leadership coach and executive coach based out of India. So if you're a company who's looking at executive coaching and advisory, please look for Sandeep Mukhi. And Nick Matone sends his apologies. He was called away on a last-minute meeting with his father earlier this afternoon, so he couldn't actually make it today because it is a working day in the United States. So unfortunately, Nick Matone couldn't be with us today. He sends his apologies. Andrada, thank you so much. Flavored writing. You bring to life
emotion,
black and white.
Yep.
You bring to colorful pictures simple words written in black and white, and that is absolutely phenomenal. Rahila, thank you so much. You were having quite a few connection issues out of Johannesburg, but thank you so much. What you are doing with the leadership of love, in just finding that humaneness within us humans, just being human, being there. With what you're doing with the leadership of love is so inspiring. Thank you so much, Rahila, for joining us. John, brother, what you're doing with One Nation and your podcast, and is absolutely phenomenal. The way you're actually bringing together the world, through your vision and with your mission and your purpose is simply fantastic. So thank you so much, John, for joining us. It was so I was so upset to a certain extent that Faith Noabia, all the way from Lagos in Nigeria, he tried on multiple phones, on multiple devices, but somehow the internet connection just wouldn't allow him to for us to hear him. We were able to see him a couple of times, but we just couldn't hear him. So, but Faith, thank you so much, brother. What you do, and for job seekers in Nigeria as a coach, as a mentor through Marlec is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for being a part of the CTE family. Would also like to absolutely thank Virginie LeMay, who lives in Luxembourg, but she was in Croatia. She's actually on her holiday. She's been on holiday for the last 2 weeks, but she said, I'm not going to miss this for the world. And those are the kinds of, connections that we've made. And, you are CTE family, you are LinkedIn family. We so thank you for the love, encouragement, and feedback that you all have given us. So she took time out of her yearly holiday to spend over half an hour with us from all the way from Croatia. So thank you so much, Virginie. That was very touching. Tessin, thank you so much for everything that you do, all the way from Pakistan. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. She's one of the most empowering women leaders that I know of on this platform. The work that she does in the corporate field, and also that she does to uplift other women around her, especially in an Asian country to a certain extent, where there are lots of stigmas around women working to a certain extent as well. So they're seeing what you are doing, and the way you're doing it is sincerely appreciated by so many people. You are inspiring so many others. So thank you so much, Tessin, for joining us. Sam Shane, brother, you embody transformation. And the one thing that comes to mind is like when we last spoke on the CTE episode, you were stuck under a rock and you found yourself because you wanted to bring out the brilliance that is there within you, within your heart, to be able to make a difference to others' lives around you. So thank you so much, brother, for being there for so many people around you. If you're not connected to each and every one of these people who I've just named and all of our CTE family, you are missing out. So thank you once again, Jasmine Wilson. So good to have you back on LinkedIn. You took a little bit of a hiatus for personal reasons. And, what do? On the first day, you post one of your amazing diving deep videos, and then you come on board to join us on Create the Edge on live. So, Jasmine, you are still our first and our only British, our UK-based CTE family. And we really appreciate that. So thank you. You're flying the flag high there, Jasmine, and you're doing great. So keep up the amazing work that you do, Jasmine. And last but not the least, our last 4 guests, Dr. AJ Minai, Disrupticon, Mr. Disrupticon. Thank you so much for being there. The quintessential storyteller. So if you're not connected to AJ, what he's doing with Disrupticon, what we're trying to do with the human block, keep a lookout, because that is going to change how you look. It's going to shift your mental block through the human block regarding what blockchain and AI is. So keep a lookout for that. Ida Hanem, thank you so much. You're a community builder, you're a coach, you're a mentor. You've disrupted yourself time in, time out, and you are an inspiration to so many people who are just scared to take that next step. Ida, thank you so much for taking that time out. Both yourself and AJ, it was past midnight when you joined us, all the way from Kuala Lumpur, and we really appreciate the time that you both took out of your schedules and took time out for us, your CTE family. And last but not the least, before I go to obviously David and MDC, but last but not the least, I would say the cutest couple on CTE family. Watch out, Lacey Abachi and Tony Abachi. David, you can give them that message, and I will give them the messages myself as well. Lacey and Tony Abachi and Jay and Louise. Watch out. You've got the new cute couple on the block there, Justina and Vlad, and they're so beautiful together. They are each other's unicorns, as they both said, which is so beautiful to see and hear. And what they're doing in the world of cryptocurrency to ensure that there is transparency with their company Coreto.io is simply phenomenal. So if you've not looked at Coreto.io, you really need to do it. You need to connect with Vlad and Justina, because the work that they're doing and the vision that they have to actually make blockchain completely transparent is absolutely astounding. So thank you so much. Keep on doing the amazing work that you do. And last but not the least, our 2 brother men, David Breyer and Michael David Chapman. Couldn't thank you enough. Honestly, to everyone on this live feed, when Michael actually was able to confirm that he was going to actually be able to attend this live feed, it was less than 3 hours to go. And he was like, I'll be there for the night, for your night one, my afternoon one. And, that's the kind of guy Michael David Chapman is. He is, a lot of people might think that, he's an influencer. No, he's not. He's an impactor. He bleeds red like each and every one of us. And he is one of the most genuine people who I've come across, honestly. So thank you, Michael, for taking that time out of your schedule. You needn't have done it, but you are part of the CTE family. And we so appreciate you taking that time out to be with us today. Really appreciate it. And, Brother David Breyer, you are absolutely fantastic. Amazing. And what you do, especially in humanizing, in humanizing how people should brand themselves is absolutely phenomenal. So you are the Iron Man of branding, and I've called you the Iron Man of branding for a reason, because that is the kind of respect and adoration and admiration that both Joy and I have towards what you do for companies around the world. So each and every one of these people, if you're not connected to them, you absolutely must. And thank you so much to each and every one of our amazing guests. They're so appreciated. Create the Edge. We are growing, and we are going to be coming to you with unique concepts, with unique offerings, with some unique situations and unique sort of offline events as well. Look out for our collaborations in the blockchain space. Look out for our collaborations in the leadership space. Look out for our collaborations in the corporate world. And yep. So thank you so much. We'd like to thank each and every one of you out there watching right now, and who've joined us, who have supported us with their likes, their comments, their shares. Even if you've not liked or commented, you've come in and watched what we've had to say over the last 5.5 to 6 months. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I will let Joy wrap up this episode.
Absolutely. Beautifully said, Yusuf. Guests have made us, our CTE family has made us what we are today. We are at the 50th. Recapping the 50th on a 51st episode, well, that's going to take us a while. We've got like 4 hours of feed to go through. I just want to say a big thank you to the people who have shown their appreciation, shown their gratitude, shown their willingness to take the insights that we have curated from these guests and shared in our respective posts. Thank you so much for the support and the goodwill that you've given Yusuf and me in our journey in the past 5 months. Doing what Yusuf has said, we pride ourselves on being on the edge. We pride ourselves on trying to think a little ahead of the horizon. So unique, yes. Disruptive, very much. Watch the space. More coming in the days that follow. Thank you very much, and good night from Yusuf and I. Have a lovely night and afternoon back in the US and evening in Europe.
Thank you so much once again. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much for all your support on part 1 and on part 2.
And part 2.
Really appreciate it. This is our 50th Golden Jubilee episode, and we couldn't have expected anything more than what we've received. So thank you so much from Joy and I at Create the Edge. We look forward to bringing you more innovative stuff moving forward. Have a lovely day, everyone. Take care.